Hello, good evening. It's a lovely Monday, the 18th of July, and Ubuntu Sports is live again. As we promised yesterday when we give you the live game between Zambia and Namibia in the COSAFA, we promised that we'll bring you the live game of WAFCON, or the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. And tonight we are just building up to the game between Zambia and South Africa in the semi-finals. And to do the analysis with me, I'm joined by our Ubuntu channel analyst, Lawrence. Good evening.
Good evening, Reuben, and good evening, viewers.
Wonderful, Lawrence. It's a big match in the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. It's fireworks. What do you expect, Lawrence?
It's a big game. High expectations, high stakes are involved. Uh, I expect a very good game today.
It's a COSAFA derby, Lawrence. It's going to be a tight contest. What do you expect?
Friendly forces, actually, familiar foes. It's two teams that know each other and understand each other very well. They know what to expect, both of the teams. So we expect a game where we'll see a lot of familiarities, and I expect Zambia to know where to hit South Africa, and South Africa where to hit Zambia. It's a familiar kind of an arrangement.
Sure. To our viewers, this is the only platform that gives you a chance to give or to comment, and we'll take your feedback just here in the studios. We're going to read your comments, so don't hesitate to give us your predictions. Who do you think is going to carry the day tonight? It's either Zambia or South Africa. It's only one nation tonight. And to do that, let's look at the lineup, shall we, Lawrence? Because there is a big change in the Zambian side, actually. Uh, the goalkeeper for Zambia, Hezo Nali, after taking the last penalty for Zambia, taking them into the semi-final, and she's nowhere to be seen in the starting lineup, Lawrence.
She's nowhere to be seen indeed, but it's not her fault. You can't blame anyone. She's just unwell, and sickness can happen to anyone. But at this point in time, I think nothing much to worry about. We have Catherine Musonda coming in, and we expect a very beautiful performance from her, just as beautiful as she is.
Thanks, Lawrence. Who else is a pillar of this team?
As always, the captain, Grace Chanda, we are placing so much expectations on her, as well as the ever blazing Average Tundu, and I can't forget Ochumba Oseke. It's this team, actually. Everybody is doing their part. Missing one of these actually will affect the whole team. And even those that are on the bench, they are doing their lot as well. They are busy cheering for their friends who are playing in the pitch. They are busy out there screaming and shouting for their friends to encourage those who are on the pitch. So this team actually, it's
Hi, Lawrence. Can you get me?
yes, I can hear you.
All right. Your sound was breaking. Just give us your analysis. We're talking about these players. That each
Yeah, I
one
was saying
is
they have gelled and are right now working as a unit. Even those who are not in the starting 11 or combined, everybody, they are working as a unit, and that is what has worked for this team for them to reach this far.
All right, thank you very much. Without wasting much of the time, we need to check also who is starting in the South African lineup, Lawrence. Shall we? Let's go to the South Africa lineup so that we can confirm who has made lineup. Andile Dlamini starts in the goal for South Africa.
Obviously, and I think in this team, we need to look out for two players specifically. That is the just 10, Linda Motlalo, and the just 12, Jermaine Seoposenwe. These two players actually have been stars in the South African side for them to reach this far, and I expect a lot of fireworks from them in this game.
Indeed, Lawrence. This is a side that is experienced, have qualified to many World Cups for the women, Lawrence. Do you are they the favorites to carry the day tonight?
I tell you what, it's funny if I told you that at this point in time there is no favorite in this game, and reason being that, like we said earlier on, these are friendly teams. These are, I mean, these are neighboring teams, and it's more or less like a derby. And to that extent, these teams will all put up a very good fight, very strong fight. I just don't know what to expect anymore in this game.
Sure, Lawrence. Let's look at how Hazel Nali made Zambia to qualify to the World Cup, because she made sure that Zambia qualified to the World Cup. Lawrence, that's a penalty there. Look at the joy, look at the happiness in the Zambian squad. They couldn't believe it.
They couldn't believe it, yeah, because of everything that has happened. But I think to some extent, it would be unfair to say they didn't believe it. But the truth of the matter is that these girls have put up such a spirited fight, and when you fight like that in a game, you should expect rewards. Dividends will always pay off, and that is what they got here. They have done their part. They have done their best. They have been working. They have been working so hard on the pitch and off the pitch. They have kept the spirits together, and dividends are paying off at this point in time. Because remember, I was going through the games, Zambia between Zambia and South Africa actually, and I'm very proud to note that a good number of games dating as back as 2018. Most of the players that were playing against South Africa back in 2018 are the players we are seeing today playing South Africa again. This is what I'm talking about. They have blended so well. They have taken enough time to gel together, and the dividends are paying off for keeping such a team for a long time together.
All right, let's look at the predictions that have come through. And we are being joined by Veronica. Veronica, good evening. How are you? Can you hear us? Good evening, Veronica. Can you hear me? All right, then let's look at the predictions, Lawrence. And we can confirm that the national anthem are being played in the stadium. But let's just run through the predictions. Let's run through the predictions. Kampalingwa Owen is saying Zambia 3, South Africa 2. Wow, she is expecting a go galore. Uh, Veronica, just give us a thumbs up once you start getting our sound there. Richard is saying Zambia 1, South Africa 0. Lawrence, should we expect more goals, or it's something like it will be a tight contest? Like there will be less goals in this match.
I tell you what, this encounter has given us a little bit of goals. I'm looking at the last four meetings where Zambia, this year, we played South Africa in a friendly, and Zambia beat South Africa by 3 goals to nil. And then we played last year twice. One was in the Kosafa, and we beat South Africa. Sorry, we drew with South Africa 1 goal up, and then we had the friendly where South Africa beat us 3 goals to 1, and then we met in the Chan Women's Chan in 2018, and interestingly, South Africa and Zambia again drew. So what I'm seeing is that we have a tendency of producing one draws every time we play in tournaments, and I think I would go for that prediction 1-1.
Let's try to join in Veronica if she can hear us. Hi, Veronica. Good evening. Can you hear us, Veronica?
Still nothing.
Still nothing. Lawrence, the game is almost starting. That's the lineup for Chipolopolo Zambia with the coach Bruce Mwape there on the side. We can confirm that Hazal Nali is not even on the substitute list because of the illness, and that's a formation that Zambia is using, a 4-3-3 formation
Ah,
with Mapepa
thank you so
on the
much.
left. Hi, Veronica. Good evening.
Oof.
Okay, let's just go through the lineup. In the midfield, we've got Chanda Lungu and Evelyn Katongo. Uh, and the striking force for Zambia is Mapepa, Luvanji, and Chitundu. All right, Lawrence, let's cross over to the game. Then we'll come back during the halftime and hope Veronica is going to connect with us all the way from Siavonga. Shall we, Lawrence? Let's hand over to the technical team to give us the foot game.
Awesome.
See you during halftime.
Oh, sure. It's pretty dangerous as this ball comes in kindly for Andy Lithamini.
Dangerous transition. Can they make full use of it here? Grace Chanda is dropping back to help
looking
out.
to pressurise the South African defence early, and she enjoys shots from range, but that is not testing Andy Lithamini in the South African goal.
No, indeed she does. I think she'll be looking at getting those opportunities to try her luck at
So maybe a little untidy, Amanda, but there's some nervous moments for both sets of defences. But Dlamini really coming up trumps in a potential 2-on-1 situation, as Super Senra might get on the end of this one.
It has been indeed end-to-end stuff in these early stages. I think both teams really want to make sure that they are aggressive enough in front of goal, with the South Africans just really fluffing that opportunity of the corner kick. Refila really tried to initiate something quite different, and unfortunately for Mutlalo just couldn't control it. But then again, on the turnover, the Zambians are really quick in transition, and the likes of Mapepa, Chanda as well will always be looking out to get on the break.
Chanda so good on the break, and Shumara Mapepa is ridiculously quick down that left flank. Israelis knows that. It's the free kick awarded a moment ago after Irene Lungu looked to steer the ball away. Boots.
Incredibly strict with herself is Thalia Smith, one of the Mamelodi Sundowns squad that are the reigning CAF Women's Champions League winners. Musesa feeding out to Mwemba. Zambia, somebody who scored not once, not twice, but at least 3 times from a long way out, as again ball is in towards the danger area, but no immediate or apparent danger for Dlamini. Snuffs the ball before it reached Uchumba Lubanji. Here's Mutlalo. Khadiete was waiting for it. Mutlalo recovers here, the Swedish-based midfielder. Looks to take this ball wide left, and she's marshalled by Belemu. Belemu, who's just been superb in this tournament so far for Zambia. Already won Player of the Match award against Cameroon in a goalless draw. South Africa looks threatening. Super Senra gets a touch on this, but Musonda comes out, and a little bit of flash from the Zambian goalkeeper. She comes out charging and makes a pretty good dive to wrap that ball up. I love this.
Yes, with great certainty, just to make sure that it's comfortably in her hands. And I think it's quite important. She has to give the last line of defense that kind of confidence. But yet again, the South Africans just showing great impetus up front.
Here's Timbo, great pace down that far flank. Again, Grace Chanda getting into a good position. So too Lubanji's there, and this one is deflected wide. That an incredible chance for Zambia. They failed to take it, but showing their prowess down that left flank again, and South Africa's defense left scrambling. And this is a move started 70 meters from the South African goal.
It's always brilliant to see and just to watch how Mapepa and Tembo down that left flank just have this understanding. When Mapepa tucks in midfield, Tembo automatically knows that she has to give the overlap, but a beautiful cutback from Chanda there to really try and locate the big striker, but fails really to convert.
So Chumba Lubanji, somebody who's got the ability to score. She packs an incredibly powerful shot as well, but somebody who at this tournament has already missed a penalty. She missed a penalty on this ground against Tunisia. Able to Tunda, though, would eventually score the winning goal in that tie. On side. The club side. WC. South Africa approach the 10-minute mark. There's no goals as yet. Smith. Musesa with a successful challenge for the ball for Zambia, and some tidy up work by Nukumatlo. So 10 minutes have come and gone. There's Nukumatlo, one of the veterans of the South African side, playing as far back as 2007, but really made her name in 2008, where she was absolutely outstanding in the COSAFA Cup and indeed the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Went on to become the first South African player to win African Player of the Year. And what a year that was for Nkomatlo, who at the time was playing as a striker. Here she is again. Fairly comfortable with both left foot all right. Pull out wide towards Tlasane. Can be a bit of a flashy player, does the basics well, but I think ultimately really needs to score more, and that was summed up with her performance in the quarterfinals against Tunisia just 4 days ago. Smith with a valiant. Matlo and Smith. A 165th cap for South Africa. Maybe a throw into Zambia. There's Chanda battling hard in midfield as she drops a little deeper from time to time. It's when she gets forward that South Africa will be most concerned. Bilemu. Mbane has steered this into the path of Chitundu, and South Africa need to do some scrambling again to tidy up. It's been far from comfortable here. Smith playing that ball in behind the Zambian defence, but nobody there. Sipusenwe drifts towards that left flank. Lovely skill from Veronica Tongo. Chisamba, they call her. Oh, this has been gifted to Grace Chanda. Grace Chanda with a shot here, and Andile Dlamini to the rescue for South Africa. But it is all Zambia at the moment. They are applying pressure. It's whether or not that pressure will prove telling on the scoreboard. Jane Mutlalo. This would be very pleasing in many a sense if you're a Zambian fan, or indeed if you're a neutral fan just enjoying the football, but concerning for South African fans perhaps the way Zambia is starting, certainly on the front foot. Now, Jermaine Sipusenwe, also injured against Botswana, is down on the turf here. She and Tembo just going for the ball against one another, and Sipusenwe, down she went. But this was a moment ago. Glorious chance gifted to Zambia.
Smart just really failing to get that one under control, and I think the coach wouldn't be pleased at just the technique in which she opted to use in trying to control that ball, just really passing it on to an oncoming striker.
South Africa from set piece. Khadieta got a touch on the end of it. Tlalo stayed away from two. Zambia have a player down in the area, and I think it's Mwemba. Meanwhile, they break. Chanda down this near side flank, going around Nkomatlo inside the 18-yard area. That is a well-timed challenge from Nkomatlo. Out for the corner it goes. Chanda's down. Matlo tidying up in the area, but now we have players down on both ends of the pitch for Zambia. Chanda's down in the South African 18-yard area, and Mwemba is down inside the Zambian 18-yard area. Just a really well-timed challenge from Matlo. And it needed to be inside the penalty area. That's the wealth of experience. The concern here for Zambia is Ushumu Mwemba, Green Buffalo's defender, is down in her own 18-yard area. She was defending from a set piece. And the ice pack looks to be down low on the leg. Ooh. She landed on top of Khadiete's boot, but it looks like her ankle twisted as she landed as well.
Yep, could have just been an ankle twist as she went for that landing.
That'd be a massive concern for the Zambian side. Medical team looking to deal with the Mwemba injury. Meanwhile, the corner kick is set to take place, much to the delight of the Zambian fans. They've started on the front foot of the Copper Queens. Can they convert? Can they find an early goal? 15 minutes have come and gone. Goalless it remains. Left-footed Shumara Mapepa. Mapepa, it's comfortably cleared by the South African defence. A touch away from Khadiete. Tsane to get a touch on that and reclaim possession. She's holding a forearm as well, is Tsane. Ball back in play. Chumba Lubanji. Chitundu. Here's Chanda. That's lovely interplay, Belemu, but a false touch and Super Senwe has stolen in and stolen possession. Clear challenge, says the referee. Belemu with a shot here that's going wide, but a little catch from Dlamini just keeps it in play. The concern for Zambia is that Mwemba is not yet back on the pitch. I can tell you that she is standing, though, with this effort a moment ago from Belemu.
A great effort here from the fullback. And I think what the South Africans are really struggling with is those turnover balls. They don't seem to be getting to the end of that second ball, really trying to collect and really try to get that motion play in their game. They're just still really under pressure at the moment.
The second ball is where Zimbabwe's midfield is tidying up. Mwemba is ready to make her way back onto the pitch now. Mbade, Kamede, Tsane. She wants it. Trying the little 1-2 with Mutlalo. Mutlalo's drifted from left to right. Perhaps in an effort to find a little space here, but Zambia are giving South Africa nothing. It's not quite the same case in reverse. Smith on the end of this one. Tsane. Sesa. South Africa have it back. Jani a little late to react, and Grace Chanda gets a header on it. Falls kindly here for Irene Lungu. And a little push in the back on Lungu. Down she goes. Free kick Zambia. Great credit to Bruce Mwape on the way his side has played. He's up for an award with categories, Coach of the Year and Player of the Year with the CAF Awards. CAF Awards upcoming on Thursday, the 21st of July, 2 days before the final. 8 o'clock local time, 7 o'clock GMT. Super Senwe finds Smith, who goes back to Super Senwe. Here's Dlamini, delivery in. And Tembo looks to have this covered. Musonda. An element of fortune perhaps for Catherine Musonda in starting today's tie. She's been a long time understudy for Zambia behind Hazel Nali, who's feeling unwell and has been left out of the starting lineup for today's tie. If you are wondering where Hazel Nali is. Problems here. Mapepa into a danger area, tidied up by Dlamini. The shot could still come in. Chumba Lubanji looking to pick up the runner. And Super Senwe looking to break for South Africa has not been able to keep this ball in play. We're into the 20th minute. Goalless it remains, but there's plenty of action, most notably from Zambia.
Most notably from Zambia, indeed. I think the South Africans are still struggling to find their rhythm. They need to get on the ball. They need to get Refilwe on the ball. The likes of Linda Mutlalo as well. Bring in Nokolo Tsane a bit just to really share. Get behind the ball first and let us defend. And then move forward. And I think that's where they're still struggling at this moment.
Chanda gets away from Dlamini, but her attempt to whip that ball into a danger area skids off the side of the boot and away. South African goal. Goal against Matlo. The oldest of the players at this tournament. She's been offered a handful of new nicknames after her performances at this tournament, but she still prefers her original nickname, Chisamba, after the Africa Cup of Nations winning Chisamba Lungu, part of that great Zambian side of 2012. That was captained by Evelyn Katongo's namesake, but no relation, Chris Katongo. Throw in taken quickly, finding Muchalo. Samini, Matlo, Mbane. First time we've really seen South Africa sitting on the ball just a little more composed in possession. Just look at the way Zambia is setting up. Their structure is so impressive. Timbo steering that ball away. Jane. Mutlalo. Lovely little ball from Tlesane. She gets the return ball as well. Skips past one, looks to get the ball flicked into the danger area where Supersirma and Khadieti were waiting. Matlo tries to defend this. It ricochets with Grace Chanda and goes all the way back to Dlamini in the South African goal. Dlamini beaten twice so far at this tournament. With 2 goals that she could really do very little about as a goalkeeper. And somebody who remarkably, with Mamelodi Sundowns, did not concede a goal, neither in the qualifying stages nor in the final tournament, as Mamelodi Sundowns won the inaugural Women's Champions League. It's Tembo again, towards Uchumba. Lovely return ball for the very, very fast Mapepa. He was expecting the call to go in her favour. She's off to Sweden after this tournament for trials. Both these teams have received thousands of messages from their enormous fan bases in their home countries. And both have every hope and every desire and every little bit of a dream of advancing to the final here in Morocco. Lasane wants to take quickly and does so. Immediately under pressure, but gets away from 2 before going down. The free kick awarded to after the foul on Lasane.
Nicole is definitely one of those players that are very comfortable with the ball, always looking to get out of tight spaces, as she really tried to get right in between and through. But of course, you'll need her to get involved a bit more on the ball just to make sure she links up play up front.
She made a debut against Comoros in 2019, Lasane. It's not been quite as ever pleasant as she would like in the since. Karabo Dlamini on the far side. Looking to feed in the set piece for South Africa. Chinese remain back. Some of the taller players have gotten forward. Nukumatlo Khadiet is there, so too Super Senwe. Natalia Smith has got herself in a little pocket of space. Samini, floated ball. The tall players go up. It's goal bound, but it's well handled by Musonda. Quite as ever present as she would like in the national team since. Karabu Samini on the far side. Looking to feed in the set piece for South Africa. Chinese remain back. Some of the taller players have gotten forward. Nukumatlo, Khadiet is there, so too Super Senwe. Natalia Smith has got herself in a little pocket of space. Samini, floated ball. The tall players go up. It's goal bound, but it's well handled by Musonda. Players might remember her as well as being the penalty shootout hero against South Africa in the third and fourth place playoff in the COSAFA Cup in Gqeberha last year. South Africa missed out on a place in the podium, courtesy of Musonda's heroics in the penalty shootout. It's Katongo. Outside of the boot, pass into the path of Chanda, who might try a shot at goal. Indeed, she does. Drags her effort wide. And Grace Chanda onto her left ankle. The Copper Queen support is vocal. It's wildly enthusiastic.
South Africa yet again caught in the turnover. They gave possession away. They struggled to fight for that second ball. Easy turnover for the Zambians. And if it is that Grace Chanda is going to keep running at Nukumato like this and leaving her for pace, I think we're going to need to have cover in Bamanani Mbani just really coming in quite early.
Again, concern for Zambia. And again, it's concern over an ankle. It's concern for Lushuma Mwemba a short while ago. And she looked to have twisted her ankle. The squad have made their way to the venue to enjoy the action. This is the first semi-final of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations of Morocco 2022. The second semi-final will feature the host nation, Morocco, up against the defending champions, Nigeria. This is a regional derby between two COSAFA sides, Zambia and South Africa. And so far, Zambia have proved to be the more efficient, if not the more clinical in front of goal. Total shots at goal. Zambia are definitely on the front foot, even though South Africa has dominated the possession stakes.
The South Africans have dominated possession, but it's not in areas that would really be of concern to the Zambians. And I think it's quite important that they start now being a little bit aggressive.
Musesa. Bilemu. South Africa out wide through Tsane. Into the path of Mutlalo here. She's inside that 18-yard area. Her return ball, though, is far too strong. Linda Mutlalo. Player of the match in South Africa's victory over Nigeria, but this time she has overclubbed one. Gamede running onto this. It's difficult for Tsane, and indeed she's unable to keep it in play. Tembo will have the throw. Chumba Lubanji under a little pressure. Knocked out of play. Throw in it'll be to Zambia. Lungu. Tembo. With Lungu. Here's Mapepa, gift a little bit of space. You don't want to be doing that. She is so ridiculously quick. And Ochuba Lubanji thought she'd have a go from a long way out. Has dropped rather deep as the tall number 9. Somebody who is well familiar with getting her nose into good scoring areas and cracking them home. With half an hour gone, goalless it remains in this first semi-final. The Copper Queens against Banyana Banyana. Separated by Lungu. Tembo. Look with Lungu. Here's Mapepa, gift a little bit of space. You don't want to be doing that. She is so ridiculously quick. And Ochuba Lubanji thought she'd have a go from a long way out. Has dropped rather deep as the tall number 9. Somebody who is well familiar with getting her nose into good scoring areas and cracking them home. With half an hour gone, goalless it remains in this first semi-final. The Copper Queens against Banyana Banyana. Separated by 45. And prepares to place the ball. Musonda. She's not the kind of goalkeeper, though, you'd like to take on from this sort of range. Very quick reflexes, wonderful athletic ability. So South Africa might well be trying to dink that ball in and hope that they can steer that ball goal-bound from one of the on-rushing players. Janet, the AC Milan midfielder. Indeed, she floats the ball in, the header is there, it looked to be on target, but it's lacking in any power and comfortable for Musonda.
Refila just does really well to float that ball, communicated quite early with Noku that it was coming to her. And in that instant, the likes of Jermaine, Melinda as well, Bambanani get onto the second ball. But yet again, I think South Africans should take advantage of those set pieces.
Chanda with a little thumbs up. Meanwhile, Mbane looking to defend against Grace Chanda, who's brought this ball wonderfully under control. Real chance here, and Mapepa's overrun it. So too Gamede, who looks to be hurt, but it's kept alive. The referee will stop play. Gamede is going to be okay, but that a glorious chance that is Ghana begging for Zambia. Danger from the throw in, the little flick on. Grace Chanda with the ball across the face of goal. Glorious chance. Mapepa, a toe poke might well have done it.
A glorious chance indeed. Once again, our South African 2 centre-backs seem to be really struggling to contain the captain. But I think it's just more or less that midfielders coming in to make sure that they block that supply. We have to fight for that second ball.
Sane wanted possession and looking to move that ball forward. Turned with purpose by Mbane. It's Lubanji towards Grace Chanda. They've had a very adaptable and fluid approach to their front line, have Zambia. So Chumba Lubanji dropping a little deeper and Grace Chanda moving into an almost central striker role. And Dlamini. There's Matlo. Mutla. Mane again looks to pick out Filuajanu, who's making a decent run. On that far flank is had their own glorious chance mere minutes after Zambia had one. But neither have found the back of the opposing net. Mapepa will gather this. Lungu's looking to make a run. Chanda's making a run. Chanda it is. Gets on the end of this. Nukumatlo's come across. Almost a left back roll to try to mark Chanda. Smith. Lasane. Back inside. So 10 minutes to go to half time. Possession far more wisely.
No, absolutely. They've been really aggressive where ball possession is concerned, fighting for everything in that midfield. They have that good balance in central midfield, but also complemented by the fullbacks who choose their moments very well when to give that numerical superiority in the final third.
Yeah, and Belemo, who's just taken the throw in, undoubtedly one of the stars of the Zambian outfit so far. When he began playing at school back in 2009 and has advanced her cause and indeed her country's cause over the years. She wanted to play abroad and now is playing in China. We've seen the sides meet virtually every year in COSAFA clashes, never mind other qualifiers and friendlies. But the last time they met, it was Zambia who won 3-0 in February, just leading up to the final round of qualifiers. This is the earlier attempt from South Africa.
Nakolo finally gets a ball in, and Jermaine, just the presence of mind, realizes that Trifilo Jan is behind her, but Fifi just lacks the power to really drive the ball into the back of the net.
And somebody who can score, Jane, but Zambia will feel a little more confident now. That's my paper. That's Desiree Ellis. On the right of your screen. The coach of Banyana. Makes full use of her height. This ball is floated nowhere near her, though, and it lands kindly for South Africa's defenders. But ultimately, the effort being taken by Chitundu, deflected away, and now second ball being won by South Africa. Sane put under pressure and fouled in the process. Sessa guilty. And while there was some cover in the form of Mwemba, Sessa is well aware that if she allows Sane beyond her, there's no way she's catching her for pace. And Chumba Lubanji immediately threw her head back in disappointment at the way she struck that in trying to find Grace Chanda. The idea was good, the execution less so.
Absolutely. I think for a striker of her stature, she does really well. Just reading the
Mbane, somebody who bought a car recently and then suffered a puncture. She has little mishaps from time to time, and she laughs them off. Wonderful, glowing character is Bambanani Mbane.
affectionately known as Unolali, as she comes from the deep rural areas of the Eastern Cape.
Holding up the South African scarf, Mamajoy Chauke, among the foremost of South Africa's supporters. You can see him supporting the national teams at respective international events. The combination play down this right flank between Katongo and Chitundu. And then Grace Chanda brought into play. Here's Belemo. She can deliver, telling balls into danger areas, and a little bit of tidying up required. They're able to do so. Samini then forward. Here's Supasinwe. Into space. Janet. Timbo quickly up towards Mapepa, coming across, and Mbani's missed out this ball. Mapepa has gone gliding beyond her as we break into the final 5 minutes of this opening half. Mapepa keeps this ball in play. It's out for the corner, surely. Mapepa with another telling run.
We did indicate that the Zambians definitely love to have a go at the South Africans, but of course she continues to drive the ball until she's waiting just for a commitment, and unfortunately fails just to connect with the teammate with the cutback.
Zambia have the subsequent set piece. Chunda over it. A little closer to the goalkeeper this time. It's coming down on Uchumba Lubanji. South Africa. Lubanji got up highest, but Nukumaklo just a little touch on that, took the sting off the ball. The score is yet in this semi-final tie. Samini looking to go around the outside. League and top scorer of the year as well. She scored 35 goals in 26 games and ended up earning a move to the Kazakhstan outfit. Big a bit of help required, and indeed ball stolen by Zambia, but now immediately stolen back by South Africa. Here's Khadiete, quiet and reserved individual, but somebody who is also relatively quiet on the pitch, but can pop up at critical times and make all the difference. So that ball out over the goal line before it came back into play. Here's Khadiete. Celebrates her 30th birthday on Thursday. Relative latecomer to the international scene. Chitundu combining with Bilemu. It's made its way to Uchumba Lubanji. It's a frustrated Jermaine Supasinwe who throws a few words in the direction of the assistant referee, who signalled throw into Zambia. And Supasinwe apologises after some stern words. As we hit the 45-minute mark, 1 minute of time has been added on here in Casablanca. Amanda, just looking at the opening 45 minutes, how have you assessed what you've seen?
Zambia definitely enjoying much of the goal-scoring opportunities that they've created, largely simply because South Africa is really conceding a lot of turnovers in that central midfield. But I think for the South Africans to do a lot better in the second half, just to go back to the basics, get behind the ball as quick as possible, put a bit of pressure on the ball carrier just to avoid some of those diagonal passes and combination play that the Zambians have executed in this half.
Certainly Zambia, having found themselves in prime position to score more, they've created more chances at the South African goal than the South Africans have created at the Zambian goal. This half looks destined to finish without a goal being scored. And Zambia changed that here. Ball away. Jane. And with that, it is the end of the opening half. No goals as yet in this first semi-final of the Total Energies Women's Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2022. It is Zambia.
Hello, that is the end of the first half between Zambia and South Africa. What a contest, what a battle, what a fight. It is a game that is very difficult to both teams, but Zambia with a lot of chances. Lawrence, welcome back, and I'm sure you've witnessed the first half. How was it, Lawrence?
I think the girls, the Copper Queens played well. That's just a good game they have put up across. I think the only thing we are lacking was the finishing touch. We've put up a lot of crosses inside the box. We've put up some good passes, penetrating the South African defense. But at the end of the day, the finishing was not up to standard. I think particularly in the 8th minute, that was a very good chance for Chumba, which she couldn't sort out her feet and decide which one exactly to use. And by the time she made the decision, the ball was just near her. So at the end of the day, the first half has given me a lot of confidence that actually Zambia can manage to beat South Africa. Actually, it's Zambia's game to lose at this point in time.
It's Zambia's game to lose, indeed. They had 5 shots on target and against 1 for South Africa. Did you see that coming?
I didn't see that coming, to be honest. And like I said earlier, this is a local. This is more or less like a derby. But at the end of the day, the chances we had, we failed to maximize on them and didn't pay off. And one good thing about it is that we've put up a spirited fight and taken the game to the South Africans and pinned them down into their box. Even if they have enjoyed much of the possession, they had to keep the ball in their own half most of the times. And that's why you can see it took them well over 20 minutes for them to have their first attempt on goal.
Indeed. Lawrence, we have talked about the replacement of Hazan Nali in the Zambian goalkeeping department. How is the performance of Catherine Musonda so far?
She has not had much to do. I think the only thing she's had to do was to start the moves from the goal kick and all. I think she has not been tested that much, but the few times that the South Africans have come, I think she has been very, very good at reacting to the situation, and read the situation very well, and put up quite a good show. I love the fact that she always insists on going to the ground with the ball every time she holds it.
She looks confident though.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. You know, there's so much confidence oozing, and I really said this when we started earlier on, to say every player in this team seems to know the part they have to play, and she knows she had to be a backup to Hazel Nali for any eventualities, and the eventuality has happened. Hazel Nali is not well, and she has taken up the mantle and is there showing off all the skills she has. Awesome stuff.
Yeah, Zambia has been knocking on the door for South Africa. What next, Lawrence? It seems they've done everything.
They have done everything, and the only thing that we need to do right now is make sure that we put on our good shooting boots as we are on halftime, because everything else we've done very well. Created chances very well, made us very good moves. The only thing lacking is that finishing to the moves that we've made, and that is where we need to work on. I think the coach probably is addressing the same at this point in time during the halftime.
I've seen a lot of students and Zambians in the stands shouting and supporting for the girls. How important is this, Lo?
Very important, and kudos to them. Yesterday in the studio, if you remember, we had one of them who explained the situation and all that, and even said we are going there, whether they like it or not, because the girls need us, and that is exactly what they are showing. They're backing the girls and singing and chanting the Chipolopolo songs. It's very important, and I've seen the South Africans have quite a few as well doing the same for them.
Yeah, indeed, Lawrence. Let's look at the South African side. They don't look like a South Africa that we know, that has been qualifying to the World Cup so easily. They look disorganized.
I can't say they look disorganized. It's just that they have had to contend with a lot of pressure from our girls, and it's not easy for them. The pressure has come in too much, and I think they didn't anticipate the kind of moves that the Zambians are making. So in the end, they seem to be running back, all of them defending and putting their lives on the line for the sake of preventing the Chipolopolo from getting anything out of the work rate they're putting in. So I wouldn't call it that much of being disorganized, but would rather say they've had to do a lot of dirty work, I should say.
Yes, exactly. They've done a lot of dirty work, especially in the deep half of their goal, where Chanda is making those runs. Grace Chanda is making those runs, and she seems to be a threat though for them. It's not giving the South African defense any chance.
Yeah, Grace Shanda has been a threat, especially with her moves, and she seemed not to give up on any ball. Whatever ball is thrown in the front, in the forward lines from the Zambian defense, she's running after it, and is not giving the South African defense any peace of mind at any given time. So in the end, those kind of presses are forcing the South Africans into making errors and giving away the ball within their own half, if you've noticed, and that is exactly what I think the coach is trying to maximize on. As they try to start something, the coach, the Zambian side are pressing the South Africans much harder to the level whereby they can't even seem to progress out of their own half. Now, when you look at Grace Chanda, actually, she seems to have developed a certain sense of anticipation in her game, and it's working to her favor, because earlier on, I think you remember, she pounced on one blunder from a defense and was through on goal. Though I think she kind of she kind of shoot too early, but all the same, that's the instinct that I'm talking about, and that instinct is what can be the difference for Zambia actually come 90 minutes of this game.
What of Lusho Momwemba, Lawrence? She's doing all the dirty work for Zambia, cleaning up all the mess being done in the midfield and making sure that Zambia up to this time have not yet conceded, or the keeper is not being troubled?
I actually got scared when she was scurried off the pitch at that point, because I thought, well, the kind of work that she's doing here is just so much. And there is a move that she started actually, and threw the ball right to the left wing, and Mapepa just couldn't manage to put in to finish off the cross at that point in time. That is the kind of player she is. After doing all the dirty work, she's able to start a move and pushing forward for the team up front to pick it up, and that's how vital she is. The dirty work she's done tremendously, awesome, and the covering that she's done for the midfield after they go off, awesome. There's just so much to praise about Mapepa's game today.
Yeah, I want us to talk about Mapepa actually, because she's someone that we can rely on, especially because she's catching the South African defense off guard.
Brilliant runs she's making on the left wing there, and awesome job, awesome work she's doing there. The only issue I think I would love to see her cross success rate going up, and that will complete her game. Like the commentator said, I think she'll be going for trials somewhere in Europe after this tournament, which shows you how much of a star she's developed into, and that's what pleases all of us and makes us Zambians so proud about it.
Let's go to Siavonga, shall we? Because Veronica is ready for us. Good evening, Veronica, and welcome to the program. Hi, Veronica. Can you get us now?
Kindly give us a thumbs up if you can hear us, Veronica.
Okay. If she can't hear us, Lawrence, there's a song that has been done for the Shipolo Polo. So let's give it to the song to boost the morale of the viewers and also the morale to the ladies. Maybe we try again to connect Veronica. Veronica, good evening. Can you hear us now? Can you hear us now?
Ooh. I think her connection.
All right, let's give it to the song, then we connect back into the second half, shall we?
today's tie. South Africa's fan base more than enthusiastic, looks to cheer on the South African players doing duty against Zambia. That's the Tunisian women's team who failed to claim a place in the playoff, the Interconfederation playoff, as they lost out on penalties against place Nomvula Khwale. And the second change will see Dilna Machaya make her way onto the pitch. Very quick, pacey, and somebody who's got the ability to run at opposing defences with a great deal of speed and energy. Second half is underway. It is Zambia against South Africa. Zambia in the copper and black against South Africa in the green and gold. 0-0 at the break here in Casablanca in this Women's Africa Cup of Nations semi-final tie. A familiar rivalry indeed, as both these sides from the Kusafa region. One of them guaranteed a place in the final of this tournament, indeed, where history beckons and reputations may very well be sealed. It's Machaya, their change. She's come on Melinda Khadiete. Zambia won the free kick early on in South African half. Just take a Melinda Dlamini momentarily on the two changes. I bring for South Africa in the second half as Willem. This one a little short. Chumbulevanti looks to turn it out to Mapepa. Zambia looking dangerous here. Mapepa might drive wide. She does indeed. Gets the shot in here. And it's straight at Andile Dlamini. Well positioned, the Sundowns keeper. And is able to bring that ball under control. Mapepa and Zambia continue where they left off from the opening half. And that is looking dangerous. Dlamini. Take a look at what you've seen in the opening half. Zambia no changes. They come out with an early chance in the second half. What's your take as well on the two South African changes at half time?
Well, I think Coach Desri is certainly looking at making sure that she has equal pace on the flanks, and the introduction of Hilda then comes in handy, knowing her ability to take on defenders one-on-one, but also maybe a bit of intensity in that midfield to have a Nomvula who also all and get those interceptive passes in through to the centre backs, but most importantly to feed the likes of Jermaine up front and to make sure that they finally get their final third entries a bit accurate.
Machaya playing in Korea. And importantly for Banyana, somebody who can score. And somebody who's already proved her ability on the pitch. And did so against the defending champions Nigeria in the opening game of South Africa's group stages. They beat Nigeria 2-1, they beat Burundi 3-1, they beat Botswana 1-0 in the group, and then beat Tunisia in the quarterfinals. They're hoping for 5 successive victories here. Only South Africa and Morocco have 4 wins from 4 following the quarterfinal stage. Zambia remain unbeaten, they have 2 wins and 2 draws, one from which they advanced on penalties to this stage of the competition. Asane doing her a little bit to try to win that ball back from Mapepa. Lungu. Katongo. Under a little pressure by Khwale. And the long-range shot coming from the fearsome free kick taker in Shumba Mwimba. Product of the Chibolia Queens, renowned for their talent identification in years gone by in Zambian women's football. Here's Nuku Matlo. Forward to Khwale. Some pass out wide. Machaya's looking to get this ball central. Jermaine Supersenwe a little too far away from the action, and Catherine Musonda just charges in and claims possession of this ball. Does Zambia just keep doing what they've been doing and hope that finally they can find a clinical touch in the area?
Looking at how they've really performed throughout the tournament, they are a team that knows how it is to make sure that they believe in their game plan, and for them it's just really to not change anything but always increase the intensity. They always find their way back, and what they do really well is to make sure that they get numbers behind the ball as quickly as possible. And once they win the ball, they are as equally quick in the transition. So I think it's just a matter of time. The South Africans will have to be quite mindful of that kind of threat.
You know, there's certainly a great deal of belief in the camp right now, and Super runs beyond it now. Musesa in a little bit of a problem, but she recovers nicely to put that ball out of play on the near side under pressure from Super Senwe. South Africa take the throw in quickly. Tesane picking out Super Senwe. This is Chumbulubanji. Forward. Mbane. Katongo here. A little touch of Mbane, I think that was. So, oh no, throw-in has gone the way of South Africa. 5 minutes down in the second half. Zambia have created a golden chance to score. Here's South Africa's opportunity potentially. Ball out wide by Mutlalo. Back from Mahaya. Jane tries a drive from range, but it's drilled wide of Musonda's goal. A little more intensity from South Africa, but they failed to break into that 18-yard area, being forced to shoot from range.
Yet again, it's just how quick the Zambians get behind the ball, closing the spaces, making sure that they're compact all the time. Makes it a bit difficult for the South Africans to penetrate right into the 18-yard box. Hence, Fonse.
Back from Mahaya. Jane tries a drive from range, but it's drilled wide of Musonda's goal. A little more intensity from South Africa, but they failed to break into that 18-yard area, being forced to shoot from range.
Yet again, it's just how quick the Zambians get behind the ball, closing the spaces, making sure that they're compact all the time. Makes it a bit difficult for the South Africans to penetrate right into the 18-yard box. Hence, Fonse.
She's played in a few different places as Linda Mutlalo over the years. Played in China, Beijing, Ms. Fuale. Zip. Back, and they look to steer it into the path of Ms. Mutlalo. She's played in a few different places as Linda Mutlalo over the years. Played in China, Beijing, Ms. Fuale. Zip. Back, and they look to steer it into the path of
It's going
is
to be a
going to hurt
very
both
tightly
players.
contested match between both teams that really know one another. They know each other's
Much so.
weaknesses.
Now playing in Spain, in Eibar. One of my favourite memories of watching her play was the hat-trick she scored against Cameroon in 2008 in the semi-finals. Part of hers. She played a match in 2018 as a 17-year-old. Now 21, returning to the Women's Africa Cup of Nations with a little more experience, the Red Arrows striker. So play will restart from a drop ball. Instruction from the referee. There's Nokumatlo. It's just for South Africa to move this ball to the goalkeeper, it seems, and ultimately controlled by the defence. So 10 minutes have come and gone in this second half. Goalless it remains, and thankfully for both Uchumba Lubanji and Nokumatlo, they're both back on their feet and look set to continue in this tie. It'll be a free kick. Chalo down. Niece of the former Kaizer Chiefs goalkeeper, Joseph Mutlalo. Meanwhile, is showing a little more emotion than we're used to seeing from him on the sidelines. This is the sharp business end of the tournament. Supersin went down under the challenge of Katongo. Free kick South Africa's way. Here's Ray Ellis. It's not a position South Africa are unfamiliar with in this tournament. At this stage against the likes of Nigeria. Using the height of Musesa in the wall as well, who ultimately got the deflection from the corner there. Ahead of the onrushing Matlo. Looking to send that ball upfield quickly. Sonda has only succeeded in picking out Asane. Pepa trying to get things going down the line, and it'll be a free kick. The South African playmaker, somebody who's also Super Senwe. Seems like just the other day she was a teenager scoring on debut against Zimbabwe. There's Mutlalo. Free kick to South Africa. While went down. The referee, and the referee has a very stern word back. Mbula Khwale down under the challenge of Chitundu. It's a long way from Catherine Musonda's goal. This ball dealt with by Tembo, recovered by Klasane. Marshalled by Mapepa towards the far side, keeps the ball in play, but only briefly. Between these two Southern African teams as they search for a place in the final of this Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Handful of players from both sides, and both coaches are up for awards as the CAF Awards return for the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic. And the ceremony on Thursday, the 21st of July, it's going to start at 8 o'clock local time in Rabat, 7 o'clock UTC or GMT. Israelis, two-time CAF Coach of the Year already, hoping to drive South Africa to yet another Women's Africa Cup of Nations final. The ball is lofted a little too energetically towards Musonda's 18-yard area. She comes out gleefully and claims. Mwemba towards Mapepa. Won by Kamede and Asane. Is there a free kick there? Nothing, says the referee. Here's Jermaine Super Senwe. Looks to pass that ball inside to Khwale. return ball didn't quite come where Super Senra was hoping. Mwembe remains down on the turf for Zambia. The throw-in will be where we get play back underway shortly. The referee will just have a check on the Zambian star defender. She played in 2018. She had a major concern earlier on in this game where she landed awkwardly and looked to have twisted her ankle. And the Green Buffaloes players, who's not unfamiliar with South Africa's Mamelodi Sundowns individuals. Some of these players met in the semi-final of the COSAFA Zone fixture during qualifying for the inaugural CAF Women's Champions League. And in fact, Wimba was player of the match in a losing cause for the Zambian side. The Sundowns won, advanced to the final. Wimba was standout in that tie. Jane, back with Kamede. Wimba back on her feet and backwards Dlamini. For a brief moment, it looks like Nyangwe was trying to apply a little pressure on Dlamini. Here's Chanda, looking to bring Mapepa into play. And that ball is skewed into the side netting. Shamara Mapepa scored a superb goal from a very tight angle against Togo. So as much as you might want to be driving Mapepa to the goal line, you need to be ever aware of that gifted left boot.
Yep, the combination of Chanda and Mapepa always just looking at locating one another inside that final third. But once again, Mapepa is just always losing that final touch when she's supposed to get an accurate pass into that 18-yard box.
Hilda Mahaya, having taken a knock here. She scored against Nigeria and then had to leave the field of play injured. And struggled to get game time subsequent as Margaret Belemu here picks up the caution for this challenge. Mahaya trapping the ball with her left and then getting caught from behind by Belemu. Belemu, among the players, who's already highlighted that she wants to become a coach after her playing days, but also wants to study physiotherapy. There is the face of Misozi Zulu, not unfamiliar to South Africans again, now based in Turkey at Hakariguchu. She looks to be ready to make her way on. Gifted winger. Veronica Katongo under pressure from Jane. Here's Mahaya. That'll be a free kick to Zambia. And now, with the stoppage in play, an opportunity for Chitundu to make way. And Zulu to make her way on. Having scored the winner against Tunisia and the equaliser against Senegal, Chitundu would have dreamed of finding another goal in this tournament here. But her day is done. So Zulu becomes the third Zambian player on the pitch, off the bench. So steers the ball away from the Weber free kick. Katongo can't control after Wilombe brought the ball down for Zambia. Matlalo, Foale, Super Senwe looks to send this ball into the path of the very pacey Tsane. Oh, delivery is decent, certainly better than decent. The keeper and player come together. Go! This is your goal! Wonderful follow-up from Hoale and Mahaya. And Machaya and Musonda have come together in challenging for that ball. Courageous keeping and a brave attempt from Machaya to find her second of this tournament.
Very well circulated by the South Africans. Jermaine just locating Nicolo with the inch perfect cross into that 18-yard box, just locating that penalty spot. But here, just a tip for the goalkeepers. Musonda should really go up with one knee to sort of protect herself. But here, she comes out just bashing, and then hence the collision. But normally, goalkeepers would really love to raise that knee just as a means of protection, just between themselves and the oncoming player.
Hilda Machaya has managed to rise to her feet, and she's off behind the Zambian goal. Musonda, meanwhile, receives a little treatment here. Somebody who's been tremendously unlucky over the years in trying to represent Zambia. There is Machaya. She picked up a dead leg against Nigeria in the opening game. It's effectively a muscle contusion. And some of the Tunisian players. The tournament is done. Enjoying some competitive action between the COSAFA rivals. No scorers yet in the semi-final tie. Opening under the watchful eye of the CAF president. There's the South African contingent, including the mental coach, Lauren Duncan, the manager, and Leanne Redding, the mental coach. It's just another angle of the collision. Two players clearly challenging for the ball, and disappointing that they collided with one another so forcefully. And from a Zambian perspective, they not want this to be happening. Barbara Banda watches on. Someone who's been part of the squad, one of the star strikers for Zambia at the Olympic Games. She managed to score back-to-back hat-tricks. The first time that any player has done that at the Olympic Games football tournament. And this is concerning. Hazel Nali, the starting goalkeeper, usually was feeling unwell and had to withdraw. Catherine Musonda took her place in the starting lineup, and now Letitia Lungu, the third choice goalkeeper, is warming up. From what we've seen, Musonda, who remains down on the turf, although is at least in the seated position, Letitia Lungu is warming up and may need to make her way on. She's one of the rising stars of Zambian goalkeeping, but Letitia Lungu is only 17 years old. And this would be a very deep end that she'd be thrown into if she were to make her way on. Musimwape is concerned. The good news that Musonda is back on her feet. It's whether or not she'll continue in this tie. The medical staff are still there. This is the incident again. They started with the delivery. Machaya and Musonda coming together. So it looks to be indicating that she will continue to play, Catherine Musonda. It's a long stoppage, and one that seems to be having concluded without either player being seriously injured. It's behind us, and now they can get back underway. Goalless it remains between Zambia and South Africa. Just under 15 minutes to play to the 90-minute mark. If indeed the sides can't be separated, we'll have extra time and then subsequently penalties. Play to get back underway from a drop ball. "13 minutes plus added time remain here in Casablanca." Luna Machaya is back on the pitch for South Africa, and Catherine Musonda seems ready and willing to continue in goal for Zambia. Into an attacking area. It's never nice to see players injured, but is there an element when you look at the opposing goalkeeper having taken a knock and being rocked by an incident like that? Is there an element of let's try to test the keeper when challenges like that happen on the pitch?
No, absolutely. You always just want to try your luck, considering just seeing Musonda struggling with the rib cage. And I think for her, then diving on the same side she's been affected could be a problem. So I wonder if the South Africans are actually aware of that. Maybe they could really fancy their chances from long range and force her into making those saves.
Carlo looking to recover after a really solid challenge from Nyangwe. Jane. He worked with Khwale. Now Super Senwe is making a charging run forward, so too Machaya, and that ball is delivered in behind where Machaya was running. And Musonda showing no signs of discomfort as she ran across her goal area and managed to collect. It remains with a little over 10 minutes to play in this tie till the 90. Shumba Mwemba. Tembo's on her outside, but she opts to drive this ball forward. Dispossessed by Mutlalo was Suzy Zulu, and then subsequently dispossessed by Mary Wilombe, who is applauded wildly for her efforts by the Zambian fans. Delivery in. Nyangwe with a ball that could have proved telling. South Africa's defence stands firm. Katongo. Flashy on the ball, gets the passing game right. And Nyangwe again getting involved. This will take a deflection out for the corner it goes. Taken short, taken quickly, and Zambia going on the charge inside the area. It's a ferocious drive. It's taken a big ricochet out for the corner again. Amini getting involved in South Africa's defence. Lemu will take. Chance ball. It fell kindly for Zambia. And ultimately, on the stroke of 80 minutes, they're unable to direct that ball goal bound. And Dlamini will have the chance to restart play from the back for South Africa. Nukumatlo has just hoofed one forward into the path of the rushing Jermaine Supasenwe, who's got two players now on her inside. Looks to find Thesane. He's waiting for the delivery to come. Tembo with a clearance for Zambia. And that'll be out for the goal kick. So the winner of this tie will face the winner of the match between Morocco and Nigeria in the tournament final in 5 days' time. The losers of those respective ties will face off in the third place playoff here in Casablanca in 4 days' time. Israelis expecting a set piece. Khwale's ball deflected back into South African territory. Dlamini. Sesa. Free kick Zambia. Time winding down.
one of these sides wanting to give away a goal or make an error. Such credit to Bruce Mwape. He's steadily been building the Zambian side. We've had more successes in Kusafa in terms of placing. They found their way to their first ever Olympic Games. And even though they were thrashed by a record margin of 10-3 by Netherlands, the reigning European champions, they earned admirers for their flamboyant football and Barbara Bunda's display of goal scoring. And after qualifying for a first Olympic Games, which, unlike the men's tournament, is played at full international level for the women. They have now booked a ticket to their first ever FIFA Women's World Cup. Now to take a step further in the continental competition. Grace Chanda looks to get a shot away here, and it's not very far away from scaring Dlamini in the South African goal.
Once again, you see the combination of Chanda as well as Mapepa on this left-hand side, as they always really try to get those combination plays, but Manani Mbane just really caught there, just muscled out of it.
Machaya can't get beyond Bilemu, but she does at the second time of asking. And the pass back to Huale. Potentially from both sets of benches. It was the earlier corner. South Africa look to be building to finish strongest, but Zambia are not to be undone and not to be outdone. Mapepa inside to Chanda. Looks for the return ball, but well read this time by Mbane. 5 minutes to play. Goalless it remains. Mutalo's gone down. Natasha Nanyangwe, the
saying the set piece was taken just a little bit quickly. Seems to be a VAR check on this instance. Defender standing her ground, deflected the ball away. Referee might want to go and check at the screen, bring the video assistant referee into play, but we'll get back underway from set piece to South Africa, just inside Zambia territory, if indeed overturning of the referee's decision. It is one of the best on the continent. The accuracy now of the video assistant referee, which is us. Reuben and four of Africa's greatest referees, overseeing the application of the video assistant referee. I think at the 90-minute mark, 6 minutes of time has been added on. The referee will head to the VAR to inspect the slow motion replays herself and make a determination whether or not there is a penalty to be had. Work that ball into the path of one of the two South African players who were waiting for the return pass. No doubt there was contact between the two players. Lydia Zapesa going to the the video assistant referee to make her decision. She has made her decision. Back onto the field she goes. Penalty! Penalty has been awarded. South Africa finding themselves cheering at the opportunity to go in front in the closing moments of this match. Jermaine Supersenwe with a charging run. Sembo seemingly standing her ground. The initial block on the ball came across the path of Supersenwe. The referee has determined that a penalty must be given to South Africa. The Zambian fans are distraught. Linda Mutalo stands over this ball, the fine finisher that she is. Could this be the end of a Zambian dream? Linda Mutalo played abroad for a number of years, but up against Catherine Musonda, who is a renowned penalty stopper, has had her day saving penalties against South Africa previously in the COSAFA Cup. Can she do it again? Mutlalo for South Africa has tucked this ball home confidently. She's got her second of this tournament. Both have come from the penalty mark. But South Africa importantly lead deep in added time at the end of the 90 in this semi-final tie. South Africa can smell the final from here. Can they hold on? Will they advance? Beautifully dispatched by Mutlalo.
Well taken advantage there by Linda Mutalo, who slots that one comfortably just to put the South Africans in front. But once again, they are playing its course, making sure that they rectify a fall. South Africa up front.
Linda Mutalo tucking that ball comfortably into the back of Zambian net. She scored 5 goals in 4 qualifiers. She scored in the 3-1 win over Burundi. She was player of the match in the winner over Nigeria. And now she's potentially got the winner over Zambia in the semi-final. Linda Mutalo, the goal in added time. Zambia doing the young way to restart play. What do Zambia have left? Do they have an immediate response? They dominated South Africa in the opening half. They failed to find the breakthrough. Supersin with battling against Wilombe. Wilombe has come away with it. Very versatile midfielder, Wilombe. South Africa just scooping this ball away from their own half. A little header on here. Sirsa being put under pressure by Supersenwe, and that's out for a South African throw. So 5.5 minutes into the 6 minutes of time added on. South Africa leading by 1. The penalty successfully converted by Linda Mutlalo. Amanda Dlamini watching this match and looking back over 90 minutes. How have you seen the tie played out?
Apart from the nerve-wracking last 5 minutes of the 90, I thought the Zambians really came out the better team in the first half. South Africans really looking to re-strategize in the second, apply as much pressure as they can. And I think that pressure really proved dividends for the team. That's why they were rewarded with the penalty, because they just improved in those final third entries.
Trying to go beyond her marker. Kamede is beaten by Mapepa, but Mutlalo is back to help out defensively. And Lasane with a... Still believe there's time. They're trying desperately to get on the end of this ball and get themselves into a scoring position, force this match at least to go to extra time with a late equaliser. Tembo. Supersin was there to help out defensively. Mwemba might have a shot from range. She's quickly closed down by Huale. Lema with a little flick forward into the path of Zulu. Zambia look dangerous. They've got 4 players in attacking positions here. Zulu. Delivery comes. Is it good enough? Knocked away by the South African defence. Surely closing moments here. Wilombe tries an effort from range. It's blocked by Gamede. A false attempt.
سوف تأتي صافرة نهاية هذه المباراة بفوز والتأهل الجنوب افريقيا المستحق إلى النهائي. نعم الجنوب افريقيا تتأهلنا إلى 6 نهائي لهن في نهايات كأس افريقيا للسيدات، وثاني نهائي على التوالي بعد آخر نسخة في غانا 2018. تعودنا على أن تفعلنا ذلك أمام المنتخب الزامبي بركلة جزاء جاءت في اللحظات الحاسمة في الوقت بدل بطريقة غير متوقعة. هنيئا للجنوب افريقيا. هارد لك لزامبيا. دمتم في رعاية الله وحفظه وإلى اللقاء.
Congratulations there to South Africa. They've won it in the end of the match via a penalty. It was a VAR decision. The referee was called to check on the VAR, and the win goes to South Africa. So South Africa will play in the final on Saturday, and Zambia will play for the 3rd and 4th on Friday. A bad day to the Shipolopolo Lawrence, because they started this game very well. Unfortunately, it ended up in tears.
In all fairness' sake, heartbreaking there. And to be honest, that wasn't a penalty.
Sorry, Lawrence, I can't get your sound.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Sorry for that. Unfortunately, to the Shpolopolo, a lot of people are questioning that decision of the referee. We'll be sharing the link with you just now so that you can come in the studios and share with us how the game was and how you feel. Was that a penalty? Do you feel that was really a penalty? Was there's a comment from Lilian Banda? She's saying the referee was just embarrassing, has just embarrassed herself because that wasn't a penalty. And then someone from South Africa is saying, you guys are complaining like Pitso Mosmane. She's just saying that was a penalty. What do you think, our viewers? We are just sharing the link with you just now so that you may come through in our studios, express yourself, what you feel. Was that a penalty or not? Lawrence, it's full time and it's confirmed. South Africa are playing in the finals of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations.
I hope you can hear me now. Can you hear me?
I can't get you, Lawrence. Is your mic unmuted?
Yeah.
All right. We seem to have a challenge there with Lawrence. But director, I would ask you just to share the link with the viewers so that you may come through in the studios and express how they feel. After the 90 minutes, the game has been won by South Africa. Congratulations to the Banyana. They are through to the final of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. It's unfortunately for Zambia, it has ended in a loss for them, despite starting a game very strongly and threatening South Africa. And in terms of statistics, Zambia was dominating everything. In terms of corners, it has gone the Zambian way. In terms of the possession and the shots on target, it has gone the Zambian way. And everybody thought this game is going into the 30 minutes. Let me just try to go through your comments and see what you have to say over that penalty. Wupe Kefas is saying almost win, just that these people, they don't want a good thing to happen to Zambia. Complaining there about the penalty. I don't know how much you feel, but director, if you can just share the link with the viewers here so they may come through in the studios so that you can have a conversation about this game. How do you feel the game was in the 90th minute? I've got a lot of comments, especially from YouTube. There was a battle of Zambia versus South Africa supporters talking through there. We've shared the link with you. You might come through and join us in the studios so that may have a better conversation. Lawrence, I hope now you are back. Good evening and a disappointing result for Zambia.
Can you hear me at this point? Can you hear me? Reuben, can you hear me?
Hi, Lawrence. Can you get me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, I can get you as well. Yes, I was saying it's a disappointing result to Zambia after starting the game very strong in the first half, but all the chances went to waste, and the referee awarded a penalty in the 90th minute to South Africa, Lawrence.
I think that was the most ridiculous decision I've seen in this tournament, to be honest. I don't know. It's like the referee was looking for a very big call that she stopped the game. I think she asked a VAR for a review herself. VAR did not call her for a review. she asked for the review in what I saw, and she got it all wrong.
All right. Lawrence is saying she got it so wrong. All right. We've been joined by someone in the studios. Good evening, sir. Can you kindly tell us your name and where you're joining us from? Good evening, Emma. Is it Emmaus Chow?
Emmaus.
Emmaus, you're muted. Okay, while we're waiting for Emmaus Chow, let's join Elliot. Elliot, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you. How are you?
Fine, and you. Just tell us where you're joining us from this evening.
I'm based in Lusaka, Zambia.
Great. Go ahead and tell us your contribution.
Okay. I do appreciate the effort that South Africa has put in. However, with regard to the penalty, that was poorly decided. When you look at a penalty, the Zambian defender went and hit the ball. Then the South African striker went and rammed herself into the defender. So that was purely not a penalty. A penalty is where the defender attacks the striker without having a touch to the ball. But when you look at that, that was purely a non-penalty. So that was poorly decided by the referee.
I actually agree with you, Elliot. I actually slowed it down and tried to see it in slow motion, which the referee also did when she went to do the on-field check on the VAR. Now, what I see is where she was trying to. I think she thought the player was going to her left before the ball hit her on the right leg and bounced off. Then the player clamped into her on the left side of it. And now I saw it from the first time, and I was even surprised that the referee stopped the game for that incident in the first place. But I told myself, well, I think she just wants to clarify issues. And the longer it took, I was like, what the heck is happening? And then next thing, I see the referee running to the VAR screen. Then in most cases, actually, I know for a fact, if a referee didn't blow for a penalty in the first place, and she goes to the screen, it comes back as a penalty. If she blows and goes to the screen, it means the decision has been reversed. And that's exactly what I started thinking. And when I saw the referee come back from the screen, taking her time to to even point at the spot, I think I knew the decision was made. But to be honest, that decision was so ridiculous that I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, because at the same time, if you look, there was some level of biasness. I'm not speaking just because I'm a Zambian. I'm a football fan. I support South Africa. I support all countries that participate in football. When you look at 3/4 of the free kicks or the fouls that were committed, according to her, some of them were not fouls. Look at the time when one of the Zambian players, I think in second half, was hurt. She didn't penalize the South African player, in spite
Actually,
of the Zambian
the
player
best
having
example is when our goalkeeper was injured. But
Yes.
merely the fact that it was in the penalty area, I actually expected a free kick at least in that case. The goalkeeper went in and parried the ball and was rammed into by a player. That is a free kick any day. But that one, she went and gave a drop ball somewhere else, meaning that she did not consider that as a foul.
So it wasn't a fair game, to be honest with you. It wasn't a fair game. If we had a proper sober referee, she would have done the right thing, not in the manner that she put up activity or work.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Elliot, for that contribution. Let us go to the eastern part of Zambia, Lawrence, shall we? Because Mr. Abia is joining us again live from Chipata. Good evening, Mr. Abia.
Good evening. How are you, sir?
Fine and you? Hey, maiona bwanji kwa kuchipata huko. Inali penalty ule bwanji.
Yeah, before coming to that, let me just begin by saying Chintu, Chabwino Maningi. Yeah, is won the Mustafa Cup. Yeah, Chintu, Chabwino Maningi. Yeah. I think that commentator, I love him. I would like to invite him to come to Chipata so that we can teach him how to speak the chorus. Yeah, back to the game. Yeah, I think all in all we played well. We tried our best. The girls were into the task. And if you can see all the angles, we were good. It's only that South Africa were good in defense. And again, when going to the third and fourth, because this game now, because this game is now in history, so we have to forget about it. The referee, okay, I can start with the VAR. VAR, all the team were wrong about that incident. Reviewing 3-4 times without getting a concept, it doesn't help. You know, if you are failing to make a judgment as a team, VAR as a team, because that VAR man is not alone in that room. He has also the friends who can help him to understand that incident. So if a person like those people failing to read that article, I think it's an embarrassment to the African football. You know, we are going to the World Cup. All the 4 teams, they are going to the World Cup. If South Africa had to receive that, how are we going to say? It's a shambolic idea, you know, shambolic decision. South Africa and Zambia, we are one month, but destroying that beautiful game, it was disappointing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abia. I've got a lot of people here in the studios. Sorry, Mr. Abia, we've got a lot of people that have joined us in the studios, and I would like to give each and everyone a chance. Let's go to Mr. Onas Mwemba. Mr. Onas Mwemba, washiyabuti wadara, and how was the game for you?
Kabot wasiyabuti.
Kabot, where are you watching us from?
I'm in Mumbwa, the central part of Zambia.
Thank you very much. Tell us how the game was, Mr. Mwemba.
Firstly, thank you for giving me this platform. In the first place, it wasn't a fair game anyway. Start from the first penalty, which was awarded to South Africa. That wasn't fair. Coming to the second one again, that one, it wasn't even a penalty. How can you award a penalty like that one? That's not a penalty. I wonder what was happening in the VAR room. It's like those guys, they've been corrupted with money so that they make a decision. I think the game was already done even when we were playing. They knew what they were doing.
Mr. Mwemba, good evening.
Good evening.
Lawrence here. Now,
Yes.
I think Abia as well mentioned the same thing, talking about the VAR room. But I think the VAR rules state that the final decision is with the referee and not in the room. So the only thing those guys can do is look at an incident and request the referee to review it, or if not. Now, in this case, in fact, like I said earlier on, I think I saw the referee actually requesting to have that incident reviewed by VAR, and which was done, and they said, well, go and see it for yourself and decide what you want. And that's what exactly the referee did. And she went there and reviewed it, played it, saw it from different angles, and made the decision by herself. So I think when we blame VAR for the whole lot of it, I think it becomes unfair. The problem is the referee, and like it or not, I don't think that was a penalty either. So going forward, how do you rate the performance of that referee?
In the first place, I would blame all of them because the decision, those guys from the VAR, they would have called to say, that's not a penalty. How do you make a decision like that? They were seeing what was happening. And the referee is not supposed to call for VAR, for her to go and check. No. The VAR who are in the room should call the referee to say, come and see what happened. Not the referee to call for VAR room. No.
All right.
So that
Thank you
was
very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Mwemba. Let me go to Mr. Mwamba. Mr. Mwamba Mlishani, and where are you watching us from?
Excellent. Can you hear me, Mr. Reuben?
Loud and clear.
Excellent. I'm watching from New York.
Oh, so, great. I know in New York this should be
this is only 15 hours, like
15 hours.
Yeah, 13 minutes past 15 hours.
Thanks. Everyone in the studio is talking about the penalty review, but I want you to discuss the first half chances which Zambia missed. Don't you think those are the chances that has costed us?
Yeah, exactly. But before I make a comment on the game, I want to thank you, gentlemen. This is a very great initiative. We lacked this, and honestly, you deserve to be rewarded. This is a good initiative, and I'll get in touch with you personally. So, coming to the game, first of all, I want to thank Bruce. This was a very commendable game. It's been building in confidence from the time we started. The first game, it gave us a lot of worries. We didn't think we were going to even reach this far in the tournament. And consistently, we have seen that the girls have been playing against a team of 12, because I don't remember a game where, in these games they have played, where we saw fair decisions going towards them. Maybe it's natural to be biased, but honestly, even the previous game they played, it was evident that the referee was not on our side. Today's game is the same. However, like you have said, we missed a lot of chances. I like the formation that he used. There was that zeal in the attack. But finishing, completion, this is a very good opportunity for Bruce to understand that we still have to work on a lot of departments, especially the finishing. The defense, kudos, it was okay. Then coming to the referee, it is like I've said, this has been the case most of the times. We should agree that for Zambia to win, we don't know the magic the other teams play for them to attract the referee on their side. But for Zambia to win, we must always insist that we should win with within the tactics and convincingly. Otherwise, if we are relying on the fairness of the game, it will be very difficult. So that wasn't a penalty. I agree with Lawrence. It wasn't a penalty at all. And I hope the administration is going to do something about it. But if we're going to cover it, then it will continue. Or even in future tournaments, we'll be subjected to the same kind of treatment.
Thank you. And just a follow-up.
Yes.
How do you look at the discipline in the Zambian team? In that, even if they did not agree with that decision, you don't see any of the girls following up the referee to go and complain. How do you look at that discipline in the team?
At first I thought probably that's what the coach told them, because even during the game, there were certain decisions which honestly they were supposed to not, I don't want to use the word harass, but they were supposed to show discontent with the referee. There's a reason why players do that. One, the referee, as long as there's not much indiscipline in the way you're trying to do a protest, it would have helped us. The referee would have been restrained from making subsequent decisions. But, we were playing as if we were immune we are immune against injuries. It's okay for us to accept that South Africa, at every point, they were trying to play with the referee. So I think Bruce should try to, psych the girls to that extent where if they see captaincies or even they must be able to show it, to display to the referee that no, this is an unfair decision. So that was very passive and didn't work for us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mwamba.
Thank you.
Mr. Chow, you had joined us earlier on. Are you ready now to give your comment? Good evening, Mr. Chow. Okay, seems Mr. Chow is not ready for us. Let's go to Mr. Isaiah. Mr. Isaiah, good evening. Tell us where you are joining us from.
Good evening. How are you?
We're getting so much noise from you.
Can you hear me?
There is so much noise coming from your side.
Okay, sorry for that noise. Can you get me now?
Sure.
Loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. I'm Isaiah from Chongwe in Eastern Province in Zambia.
Go ahead and give us your analysis of the game.
Okay, thanks. Now coming first and foremost, thank you for this opportunity to allow me on this platform. Now coming to the game, which is Zambia against South Africa. The game was okay, but on the first half, the Zambia was not doing really fine. Then coming to the referee was not doing her work accordingly because wasn't favor to the game. Was I can use so to use this game or bias or against Zambia based on my opinion.
What makes
so now
you
coming
have that
to the penalty, which is the okay. What makes me to have that this opinion is that there was that first penalty, which was not supposed to be a penalty. Then also coming to the second penalty, it wasn't supposed also to be the penalty because looking at the rules of the game, that wasn't supposed to be the penalty for South Africa. Because the first one, referee give South Africa a penalty based on the VAR, and then also the second one, it was based also on the VAR, which was supposed to be the case because referee is supposed to know the rules of the game accordingly and supposed to do or to obey the rules or to follow the rules accordingly. And now they are supposed to be moving. Now looking at the referee, it was more like I don't know which term I can use at the moment. More like wasn't like he following the rules of the game. She was not following the rules of the game. She was too like she was unfair. That's what I can say at the moment. Because that game, that penalty, the second penalty was not supposed to be the penalty for South Africa. No foul. Because there was no foul. And looking at the angle at which the referee gave the penalty to South Africa, which is the second one, it was almost out of
Thank you very
18.
much, Mr. Isaiah. Thank you very much for your analysis. We also have to accommodate Mr. Skumbuzo. Good evening, sir, and tell us where you are watching us from.
Mr. Skumbuzo, your mic is muted. Kindly unmute yourself as what we can hear you.
Okay. Yes, I've unmuted. Can you hear me? Still can't hear you.
Yes, we can hear you now.
We can hear you now.
I'm saying I'm from Joburg. Thanks for the platform. I'm South African, unfortunately. For
No,
you
that's
Zambian
fortunate.
people.
That's fortunate. That's not.
That's
That's
very
fortunate for
fortunate.
us.
Thank you so
Most
much.
of the Zambians, Mr. Skumbuzo, are complaining that the referee actually was biased towards Zambia. And do you think that was a penalty to South Africa?
Let's talk about the entire match first. The first half of what I saw, even though we had a bad network, the first half, Zambia played well. Yes, chances were there, but half chances, as Lawrence alluded to you at halftime to say that you pressured us, but you didn't create like clear-cut chances. But your number 10 and number 11 gave us quite a lot of hard times. Second half, also the problem, as I said, it was the network. I didn't see well, but what I saw of the game, South Africa changed. They were better. They were better. They carried the match to you guys in a better manner. And as I said again, the chances were not clear, but in terms of play, we came back into the game vis-a-vis the first half. So I would say it was even. Maybe you could say then maybe the game deserved to go to extra time or something like that. Yeah. But on the penalty, well, the decision the ref made, it suited me. And what can I say? To a certain extent, I'm happy, but I'm also would say I'm not a fan of VAR as it stands because I'm of the opinion that football.
Sorry, Mr.
Let the ref
Sorry
make
to
the
interrupt.
decision.
I think we are getting some noise from one of that is Andrew. Andrew, kindly mute your mic so that we cannot hear what you're doing in the background, and we give others a chance to speak. We request that you do that. If not, we request that. Okay, I think they have done that. You can go on, Mr. Skumbuzo.
Yes. So as I was saying, from my side, yes, on my side, the issue of VAR as it stands, it's still problematic, if I can use that word. Even as you see matches all over the world, the decisions are still subjective to a certain extent on the basis of the ref. It's not cut and dry if you compare it to a decision like a goal line technology ruling, because that decision, it's an on and off situation. The goal is in or it's not in. So when it comes to the question of VAR on other decisions, for me, there still needs to improve. So as such, I'm not a fan. So I would rather have the ref call it, and if he calls it my way, it's good. If he doesn't call it my way, it's football. That's what football has always been. It has always had those controversies until it's improved to a point where, as I'm saying, it's like a goal line technology decision. I would be happy with it. But as things stand, it's a decision that can go either way. The ref can. We've seen many decisions where, when you look at it, you're like, why did he make it? Why did he or she make it that way? So I'm not really a fan. So today it worked for me, but it's not a decision that I would like. I would rather have the ref make it or not make it my way. That's my take. Thanks.
Mr. Skumbu, so we need to penalize you on this program because you didn't congratulate us that Zambia won Kosafa yesterday. You're just quiet, but just tell us, how is the atmosphere there? I don't know if you're in Johannesburg but you're in South Africa. How is the atmosphere there, and what has made South Africa national team, for the women's national team, to be consistent in terms of qualifying to the World Cup now?
I'm not getting you correctly. Saying how was?
I'm saying my question is. I've got two questions for you. How is the atmosphere there in South Africa? Are you making noise that now South Africa has gone to the finals? And also, my question is, what is it that South Africa is doing that is making them to qualify? That is the women's national team that is making them to qualify to the World Cup that the men's are not doing in South Africa.
You mean our team, our national team, the male team?
I mean the women's. The women's are very consistent in terms of qualifying to the World Cup. I'm saying, what is it that you've done as a country to making sure that the women's team are qualifying to the World Cup. Meanwhile, when it comes to the men's team, it seems to be struggling just like our nation, Zambia.
Okay, from the women's team, what has worked for them? They've got some players that have gone overseas. They've got the league that is there that is being played, but bulk of their players are doing well, and they're doing well overseas. Like the number 10, he plays in Sweden. He's played a lot of countries. Number 15, the Cape Town, he plays for Milan. Khatlani is moved from Atletico, he's gone to the States again. Number 12 is playing in Spain. Yeah. But the other thing is that the players, the league, I think, is strong here from a perspective of football, because at university level they play. I was 2 weeks back. I was in an Asian tournament in where the former captain of ours, Janine Vandenveeg's team, was playing in the finals with the University of Johannesburg. So there is quite a lot of competition to sort of build the players.
And how is the atmosphere in South Africa now that you've qualified to the? How is the atmosphere in South Africa?
No, I'm sure we're happy, but I'm sitting in the house, so I didn't get a chance to go outside. I'm just sitting in the house, and the problem was the game was not flowing because of the network. So there was always that worry because, as I said, the two teams were sort of matched in terms of play. So with the network doing what it was doing, one was jumping from the tab to check the score because we couldn't see the view correctly, and trying to get to see so that you don't miss out and find out maybe the goal has been scored and stuff like that. So that was the worry. So I didn't see it. But as I said, again, to Zambia, for me, they played quite well first half, but they didn't create good chances. As much as South Africa didn't create good chances in the second half, but from in terms of play, it's like saying two boxers in the ring, nobody knocks the other boxer, but in terms of landing the telling punches, first half they did. South Africa we were nowhere, and as I said, number 10 and 11 gave us serious problems, and had maybe the ball fell in their way, we could have seen something else, because there was this cross that he played on the right, just across the face of the goal. Someone should have just been there to just tap it into the net, but the ball went across. And in football, football is a game of moments, and that moment was quite a big one from a Zambian perspective.
Thank you very much, and congratulations, Mr. Sukumbuso. Just stick around. Let me just give a platform also to others. Let's go to Mr. Mulandis. Good evening, and tell us where you are joining us from, sir.
Good evening. Thank you very much. I'm joining from Windhoek, Namibia.
Oh, okay. I hope you congratulate us for the COSAFA, and okay, give us the analysis of the game tonight.
I'm a Zambian, but I'm just in Windhoek. Now I've been following the stories of CAF and the Zambian women national team. You can see that from the stories that are surfacing, the CAF and the Zambia's national women team, you can see that there's something fishy that is behind. Therefore, Zambia was not just playing against South Africa, but Zambia was playing against CAF itself. How can you win when you are playing against the owners? You see? So when you look at all these things that is happening, I could see players that have stature that is bigger than Barbara Banda, but they've been playing in that if you check their players. So coming to today's game, the referee was really out of place. That wasn't a penalty. I'm not just saying this because Zambia has lost the match. You cannot let the match play, then later on you stop the match to consult or to check the VAR because of an incident that already occurred and it has already passed. The match was in play. Then you stop the match to go and check that's really like fishy. So I would just say let the first president and the people that are behind the administration appeal for this one, because Zambia has been robbed. We may not know how far Zambia was going to go. We could see that from every match they played, every match that Zambia played, there was something fishy behind it when it comes to officiating the match. So let's first, and I was watching the match after the referee made that decision. The first president was smiling. What is that? The first president was smiling. It's the only one that was smiling. These other guys were busy on their phone. So the match like wasn't really, I don't even want to say. The match was something else.
Thank you, Mr. Mlandis, and I'm happy that even Namibia was watching the game. That's how it should be. Now let's go to Mr. Lamek. Mr. Lamek, good evening. Tell us where you're joining us from.
Good evening. How are you, sir?
Fine. Give us your analysis also of the game. Mr. Mlandis, you can mute yourself, sir.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for accommodating me. To start with, I would have loved to say congratulations to South Africans, but I don't think I can go that direction because I feel like we have been just robbed the happiness of the day. I'm calling actually from Kasumbalesa in Congo, DRC. Hello, are you getting me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
We can hear you. Now, actually, Mr. Mlandis brought up an aspect that I want you, Mr. Lamek, to address the issue of CAF. Actually, to some extent, I've seen a lot of people tweeting, mentioning that probably the fact that the CAF president is from South Africa was part of the reason why things had to go like this. And actually, his presence in the stadium was probably intimidating to the referees and those in the VAR room. What's your take on that?
Yeah, maybe I think a few words on that. May I just start with
Okay, I think network is not working on our side with Mr. Lamek. Can you hear us?
All right, welcome, Mr. Stanley Mwanza. You can just mute yourself there. Just mute your mic so that you don't get any feedback. Let me go to Mr. Donald J. Nkoma. Good evening, sir. Tell us where you're joining us from. Your mic is muted, Mr. Nkoma. Kindly unmute.
I think probably we can do with Mr. Justin. Mr. Justin, thank you so much for joining us. Let us know where you are catching us from, and please share your views about the match.
Good evening, Lawrence. Good evening, Reuben, Mr. Mlandis, and Donald. Mr. Skumuzo, thank you so much for your analysis. Guys, my name is Justin. I'm actually joining you from Cape Town in South Africa. I'm a South African as well. And I would like to echo the same sentiments with Skumuzo. Guys, you know, I think as football fans, we need to learn to accept, you know, anything that has been done on the field of play. It is based on rules. People tend to have this thing of complaining. I mean, we have seen things. Look at what happened. Let me just remind you. Let me remind you. Do you still remember about South Africa and Ghana World Cup qualifier? in Ghana. You still remember? Do you know what
Yeah,
happened?
yeah, we remember.
Complained.
We know what happened.
We complained, right? We complained. We did all lot of things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
you had the chance to complain, and you feel the Zambians should not complain this time around.
No. They must never complain. Listen, simple. They've been beaten. Zambia has been beaten. They have been beaten. Listen, there's no complaint about it. I mean, look, number one, the referee, he's not alone on the field. The referee has got the VAR officials. You forget about our the CAF president being a South African or whatsoever. But Patrice Motsepe cannot manipulate games because he's a president. We need to follow rules. We have seen these drastic steps and decisions being taken by many referees in English Premier League, La Liga, Italian Serie A, and Serie A, and so forth. And people, life just goes on. I mean, the referee decision is final. We can complain and do whatever we want. I mean, let me tell you something. We complained. It was South Africa complaining. They even made a live stream. They went to FIFA to complain and want to whatever. What happened? Where is South Africa now? Where is South Africa? Is South Africa at the World Cup? No. Is Ghana at the World Cup? There were complaints and complaints. Guys, let us learn to accept. Simple. Zambia lost. They have been beaten by South Africa. Honestly, I don't. That's one thing that I can say to you guys.
Thank you very much, Justin.
Learn to appreciate the referee. Those referees, they've been trained, they follow rules. There is no way they can make mistakes. I mean, the referee was actually confused. He didn't know what to do. But then what happened? The VAR said, wait, let us give you some advice. And he went to do what? To do consultation. And what happened afterwards? It was a penalty. Right? The same way, you see, there was another penalty that was given. That penalty was given, and what happened? It was turned. Understand? So, are you telling us that we as South Africans, we must complain? Must we complain about that penalty that was given, and after they said it was a free kick? Must we complain? No, guys. As football fans, we must learn to appreciate the referees. They have been trained, and they are doing their level best. They are also human. Understand? That's why it's important for us to learn the rules.
Lawrence, Mr. Justin, thank you very much.
That's one thing that I want to say.
Thank you very much, Mr. Justin.
I love your energy. Let's give chance to Mr. Stanley to also have a say on this. Mr. Stanley, good evening, and tell us where you are joining us from, and also share your view.
Kindly unmute Mr. Stanley.
No, sorry, guys. Sorry. I received the call. Yeah, like I was saying to you.
Mr. Justin, just hold on. We need to accommodate others as well. Just hold your thought. Just hold your thought. Mr. Stanley, kindly also give us your analysis and also tell us where you are joining us from, because you've been trying to join this studio and finally you are in.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Hope you are getting me.
Loud and clear.
Okay, thank you so much. First and foremost, I would like to appreciate this platform. I think I just came to learn about it just, I think last week. And I've come to appreciate what you people are doing to try by all means to ensure that you bring us together and see how best we can get to enjoy even the beautiful game of football. Yeah, this is a commendable job that you have done.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so what is there is today's game. Of course, football sometimes can be this unfair. But what makes it more beautiful, it is the fact that when others are crying, others are rejoicing. So you have seen that, yeah, in as much as we are here to look at the bad side of what happened today, yeah, others are rejoicing, and that is what makes this game unique and beautiful. So when we come to the way the game was played today, I think Zambia did well in some instances, and South Africa again came through and gave in their very best. And at the end of it, we saw to it, from my look of things, I think, yeah, I would say that was not a penalty, because when you look at the ball, the defender actually touched that ball before even that contact was made between the two players. So, and the fact that the referee took a lot of time for her to decide, that's what has risen a lot of dust, because she took a lot of time for her to decide. If really she saw that was a penalty, she should have not wasted much time for her to think through, and so that's what has made it to look like that wasn't even in fact a penalty. So at the end of it, we just have to congratulate our colleagues, the South Africans. We are just one, and this is what the beautiful game of football is, what brings us together, and learn from each other one or two things. Otherwise, thank you so much for giving this platform to also share my views for the game today.
Thank you so much, Mr. Stanley. Actually, when you say others are smiling, I'm sure you can see the man in the in the corner there, Mr. Skumbuzo, very very happy. I think any word for the South Africans going into the final?
Of course, yes, South Africans this far, I think they can build on from where the confidence that they have gained after winning this game, because it has boosted their morale. So in as much as they are going to the next game, yeah, they should also improve in certain areas where they have not done well today, so that they also capitalize on the chances that they during 90 minutes. So I think this is the morale booster for them to beat Zambia, because Zambia came out very strong as well. But at the end of the day, we're on the losing side. So they should also build on what they have learned from this game, and also make sure that as they head into the final, they execute their chances.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think Mr. Donald J, we didn't get to hear your views because I think we lost you somehow. Are you able to hear us now? Are you able to hear us?
Seems we
okay.
can't,
We still can't communicate. Mr. Eric, how are you? And please tell us where you are joining us from and what your views over the match are. Okay. Mr. Eric, how are you? And please tell us where you are joining us from and what your views over the match are.
Well, my name is Eric. I'm from California. I'm calling from California.
Kindly mute the device that you are hearing us from and only leave the one that you are using.
Well, my name is Eric. I'm from California. I'm calling from California.
Kindly mute the device that you are hearing us from.
Okay, I just did.
Okay, thank you. You can go on with your views on the match, and thank you for joining us all the way from California, USA.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello.
We can hear you loud and clear.
Hello. I can't hear them. Hello. Hello. Well, all I can say is, I want to thank Africa is improving. I want to thank the whole team. It's a good game, but I just want to make it clear that we are still learning, even in the confederation wise. The Europeans, there's mistakes, but it's always business as usual. The business there is that there's no way they're kind of like gonna allow Zambia to go to the finals. It's gonna be South Africa, because basically everybody knows that's not a penalty. That's just like I said, it's business always. It's something that they're always gonna do so that the finals will be something that everybody will be interested in. I'm not trying to say that South Africa is not good or a better side, but Zambia too shows what they are there to do. They mean business. Because at the first half, they were lost. But second half, everything picked up. And to show you that, yes, they mean business. So trying to take it from the South African side, the referee have to help. I can say it's 12 against 11, but, like I said, it's always a good game. Like, I like to see Africa improve more. So thank you.
Okay. I think Skumbuzo wants to counter that.
The referee have to help. I can say it's 12 against 11, but like I said, it's always a good game. Like, I like to see Africa. Hello.
Okay.
So thank you.
Hello.
Okay.
If you're not speaking, please must mute your mic so to
Can you
get
hear
a
me?
better conversation.
Skumbuzo wants to counter that.
But we need to have every mic muted first.
Yes.
Let's mute our
Can you-
mics first.
Yeah, Skumbuzo, you can go
hear me?
ahead. Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Football always has moments, good or bad. It has always been like that. I can count many incidences going to Maradona scoring with the hand, 1986. I'm a Man City fan. We lost against Tottenham in the Champions League, where they didn't call the same VAR, didn't call a penalty twice against Pochettino's Tottenham, and we lost. It's football. That's what the game is all about. It's got game of moments. You win some, you lose some. That's why it's called a beautiful game. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's unfortunate that someone has to lose, as Stanley had said, but that's the game. And as I had said previously, Lawrence, is to say, as long as this thing is still subjective, we will always have more controversies. We need to get to a point where it's an on and off situation, where we're cut and dry. And the other thing for me that needs to improve on VAR, it should be the promptness of the decision. I hate the idea of someone taking 2-3 minutes. It kills the game. The decision must be prompt so that the game continues. Football is not cricket. The game must move, because it kills the momentum of the team that is trying to take the game or win the game. So for Eric to say then that we somehow got the game by some hook or crook, it's not fair. It's football. It has been like that all the time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Namibia. Mr. Mlandis, you have something to say. Mr. Justin, I won't give you a chance because you shout us here. And we'll come back to you. Let's go first to Mr. Mlandis in Namibia.
Yeah, I can see the joy that is on Mr. Dustin. Yeah. Now, I want to say this. I think so. This is very vital. You see, this is the African football we are talking about, and it is not just Africans that are watching these matches that we are watching. Also, these other countries are watching these matches that we are watching. So, if we cannot stick to the rules of the game as the people that are officiating these games, like is it Lawrence that said, imagine it was South Africa at the World Cup that is going to the finals of the World Cup, then the referee makes such a decision on South Africa, how will Africa going to feel? So it is the name of Africa at the end of the day that is deadened, not these guys, because you see how we officiate our matches determines. I can imagine if Africa can reach at the point where we are importing players from these European countries. So how can players come from Europe to Africa with this kind of poor officiating of the officials? So this must be put in place. CAF must make sure that let them stand by their rules. Someone said it is business. At the end of the day, it is business. You hear that word business, which means people are involved. There's trading that is taking place between what is happening there. So my plea is that let us put a good name on Africa. Despite, yes, we've lost the game. Unfortunately, Zambia has lost the game. South Africa has qualified to the finals. And again, the question is that how has South Africa qualified the final despite winning the match? You see, it's good if there is joy here, there, and there, and there, and there. But the name of Africa at the end of the day, it is the one that is being deadened. So I think so CAF should stand on their grounds. When they see something that has happened like this, let them call the referees. Let them ask. You remember South Africa, you petitioned in 2021 when Ghana penalty, you petitioned. It showed displeasure. You were not happy with what happened with that match. Same applies with this match. Let them call the referees that were officiating the match and let them go through what they were doing. I think so. That way, Africa is another continent. I don't know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Justin, I want to involve you on this one because I want you to respond to this. Don't you think what is raising so much dust is the timing of the penalty, where it comes in? That was in the 92nd minute of the game, which means that the team that feels offended doesn't even get a chance to try and fight back. Do you think the timing of the penalty makes things worse in this case?
Thank you so much for giving me the platform again. Look, Lawrence, we can look at this in a different way. The final answer will always be only one thing: Zambia lost. There won't be anything else. That will be the final answer that anyone will get. But the thing is, what I've learned about Africans, we love football. We as South Africans, we love football. But the thing is, we love to complain too much. We are Africans who loves complaining in each and everything. Look now, they have brought us VAR, right? We wanted VAR. Now we've got VAR, but we can't appreciate the VAR that we're looking for. We can't appreciate the VAR that we've been crying for. What else can African referees do? What can they do if we can't appreciate our own referees? I mean, to come to your question, when you say the timing of the penalty, we have seen penalties
corruption.
taken. No, my brother. We have seen penalties taken only maybe there is something like maybe 1 minute left or whatsoever, or maybe seconds of the game. We have seen this happening to many matches, not only Africa. But the thing is, in Africa, we need to learn to appreciate. We must stop this thing of us complaining. We love complaining. And to be honest with you, let me ask you something. Zambia, no matter how they played, there was no way they could beat South Africa. South Africa and players, they are skillful. You could see they can put the ball in the carpet. They can tap it in our own language. You say they can tapate the football. They tapate it, put it, by the full man, by tapate, you understand? So that's what we want. Zambia couldn't cope with the pace of South African players. It's as simple as that. And anyway, my brother, and Lawrence and Reuben, I would like to comment to you, my brother. You are doing a very fantastic job. Keep on doing what you're doing. I'll have to go now. And keep on doing what you're doing. My brother, I really love what you're doing, guys. If you could, my advice to you guys is that if you could start this live stream, maybe perhaps, let's say, for each and every game, before each and every big game that is coming, start it maybe 30 minutes before the game so the guys can, get some time to come to the platform and communicate and so forth. Yes. And also inform them that after the game, we'll be discussing, the whole game.
Yeah,
so
that's true too.
And don't only look at South African or African games. You must also do, European games as well. All those Manchester City, Liverpool games and so forth. You must do those ones. It will grow your channel.
Thank you very much, Mr. Justin. If you check in the private chat, I've posted a link to a WhatsApp group. If you want to join our WhatsApp group, just check in the private chat. There's a link that I've provided there. Just click there, then we can have a better conversation after the show as well. I just want to allow Mr. I don't know if it's Chunks or Jukes. I'm not so sure how you pronounce your name. Tell us where you're joining us from, and also give us how the game was.
Oh yeah, this is Chishimba. I'm joining you from Botswana. I'm joining you from Botswana.
Dumela.
Riteng. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm excited. You've got very big brains, soccer brains here, and I just thought maybe I could add a word or so to the discussions. I'm excited for the excitement that our brothers from South Africa, the spell of excitement that they are going through. But for me, I feel when something is not right, regardless where we are standing, I think we should stand up as a whole and we just agree and say something was not done right. Because today it may be Zambia, the other day it may be another team. So do we celebrate something that we feel is not right for the sake, because it's happening to us? We don't care whether it was right or wrong. I feel we should try to address that, because there are still more games to be played. But if we say we just celebrate it because it is benefiting us for a moment and we are not looking at the bigger picture, that's my bigger concern. Because in the next match, South Africa may be affected by the same type of decision that was made, and it will not be a good thing. We want to enjoy soccer, and we want the best coming out of it. We want the best referees coming through, and this. And I feel this is my contribution. If we want to watch the best games, let's condemn what is not right. We come with a solid voice and say that was not right. Because, I remember just some time back, it happened to South Africa. It was South Africa against Ghana. Something happened. We all stood up and said, what was done was not right. So I feel a bit unsad when our South African brothers are standing up and say, it doesn't matter how it came. They have won. They've gone into the final. We want to celebrate with the South Africans as they play in the final. We don't want to stand on the side and say, this and this and that. Otherwise, we enjoyed the game, and whatever that was going to happen, it was still going to be a Southern African team going into the final. We wish South Africa the best in the final. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shimba. Let's go to Mr. Eric. Good evening. Tell us where you're watching us from.
Good evening. I have called before, but I was expecting if I was just listening to people to hear what they're saying, Basically, yeah. I heard my brother from South Africa. He's very happy, jubilating. But it's not yet over, though, because this is just semi-final. They still have finals to play. But anyway, it's still a good
Eric,
game.
Tell us where you're joining us from.
Oh, boy.
He's from California, I think. That's what he told us.
Yeah, I'm calling from California.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mr. Eric, just let us know who are you who are you supporting in this tournament? Which
Oh,
team have you been?
I'm from Nigeria. We are still playing.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And Nigerians are the record holders of this trophy 11 times so far, and aiming for the.
You can say that again. I would like to meet my brother South Africa in the finals, though. Okay, thank you guys very much. I have to watch my game now. Nigeria is playing. I love you guys. Bye bye.
Mr. Eric, before you leave, Mr. Eric,
yes,
I've shared a WhatsApp link so that we can link up, because in the semifinals and the finals, we need to come up, whether it's Nigeria that has gone through, because we need you. If it would be Nigeria that will be in the finals, and we also need Mr. Skumbuzo, because he's also coming in and bringing his South African friends. So we need you on the panel when you're doing that. So I've shared the link in the private chat. I'm sure you're able to see it. Just click on the link and you go into the.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one. Bye-bye. God bless.
Thanks. Now we need to go, gents. This has been a special edition of Ubuntu Sports, and it was a semi-final between Zambia and South Africa. And unfortunately for Zambia, despite all the chances that they had, it has ended in tears for them. It was the South Africans that celebrated in 90 minutes. And we need to say good night. God bless. This has been Ubuntu Sports. Continue watching Ubuntu. Good night.
Cross the platform.
Young lady, you should never make fun of other people. Who cares? It's just homeless Heather.